Tower's gone! Boys! Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you've got me in real time. You've got me in real time.
I've just seen the live action reaction to the voice I heard 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Does it say when it's releasing? Should we just quickly watch? Let's watch this video, guys. Let's watch.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games.
You can hear me over stream.
Now, it's no secret that we need to make some improvements to the endgame, and the plan has been to do some pretty major changes in 040. But we realized it might be nice to iterate on some of the more mechanical changes in 031, and just save the new content for 040. That way we can get a chance to test some of these things a bit earlier. A major concern for players are the mechanics around towers. Players don't like having to find towers to juice their maps, and don't enjoy needing to find multiple overlapping towers to get the best outcomes. In order to fix that, you no longer need towers to use tablets. Instead, tablets can now be placed in the map device to add their bonuses directly to your maps. Each time you use a tablet while running a map, the number of remaining uses goes down. Once it reaches 0, the tablet is destroyed. You can use up to 3 tablets on each map, but the number of enabled slots is based on how many mods the map has. Running a 6-mod map will enable all 3 of the tablet slots on the map device. This change allows you to benefit fully from tablets, no matter what random layout of towers you happen to find. Towers can still be used to gain visibility.
I muted myself for Yoshi, but forgot that would mute myself for everyone.
Oh, when did I thought it was my sound playing up again?
Right. There's a huge problem with this. Massive problem. I can see it immediately unless he's about to say something else. But for now, I'm going to interject. Victor knows. I've got towers with 84% quant. How am I going to get 84% from 3 towers? I'm going to be able to get 21%.
Ability on the Atlas.
That's the most I could get.
Also drop an extra tablet as a reward for completing it.
Oh, thank you. Another tablet.
Something we've never really been happy with was the base experience of how you complete a map. In PoE 2, we wanted boss fights to feel challenging and rewarding, so we decided to make bosses spawn only in some maps. In all the other maps, the completion condition for the map was killing all the rare monsters. However, we don't really feel this is that enjoyable. It tends to degenerate and to just follow.
I'll tell you what, though, boys. I'll tell you what. With the science that we've got planned and how we want to test the rarity bot, we can control our maps. We can fix some variables easily. And we can really fucking test this.
Minimap icons. In order to address this, we're now making all maps contain map bosses. To complete the map, just kill the map boss. You no longer need to kill any rares, and you can do as much or as little of the rest of the map as you please. We still want some map bosses to be more challenging and rewarding though. The existing icons that currently indicate that there's a map boss now instead mean that the map boss of the area will be extra challenging, with more rewards and the map tier upgrade.
I fucking hate towers, I'm glad they're gone.
We also wanted to improve the base experience of mapping in other ways by making sure that there is at least a guaranteed minimum amount of bonus content in each map.
When we've got group stuff planned, and I'm sitting here, and it gets to my lunch break at work, I'm like, I've got to go find fucking towers. I've got to go optimize towers so that we're not wasting time when we're in a group. And I know that some of you guys are the same, and you jump to doing the tower setups and that, especially early league.
As you generate each map, we will now always add between 1 to 3 extra random features, including Breach, Delirium, Ritual, and Expedition, as well as Shrines, Strongboxes, Essences, Wisps, Rogue Exiles, and Summoning Circles. This content will be added in addition to the content added by your tablets and maps, and will be selected afterwards. This means that if you have a mod that adds an Expedition but can't have more than one in a map, it will make sure to select something else instead. With both this change and the tower change, content icons for Breach, Delirium, Ritual, and Expedition have been removed from the Atlas.
I'm hoping that's what he says, Victor.
All the content you didn't add yourself will be randomly generated as you go to the area. Currently, we believe the time to complete a given map is a bit too long, so we're lowering it. To start with, we're taking the 15 largest maps and reducing their sizes. We also felt like there were just too many monsters. The size of monster packs in P1 maps was actually over 40% higher than in the interlude area right at the time to complete it. Is that if you, in addition to can use up to 3 tabs.
No, that's 7%. That's the same. 7% is the max. But the 5% is up from 1%.
Tablets on each map, but the
15% experience gain is up from 10, I think. I think that's up from 10.
number of enabled slots
It's not the same at all. You put them in the maps rather than in the towers.
is based on how many mods the map has. Running a 6-mod map will enable all 3 of the
I don't
tablet
think
slots.
is that. I'm sure that experience is currently capped at 10% on tablets. Right. Where were we? We were about here.
With both this change and the tower change,
Right.
content
Thanks,
icons
Victor.
for Breach, Delirium, Ritual, and Expedition have been removed from
15
the
and
atlas.
0.1.
All the content you didn't add yourself will be randomly generated as you go to the area. Currently, we believe the time to complete a given map is a bit too long, so we're lowering it.
I'm glad
To start with, we're taking the 15 largest maps and reducing their sizes. We also felt like there were just too many monsters. The size of monster packs in T1 maps was actually over 40% higher than in the interlude area right before it. This also resulted in a sudden difficulty spike at the start of endgame. If your build wasn't able to handle large packs
Nice one,
well,
Red Eye.
getting swarmed by monsters is a common complaint in the endgame. To address that, we're lowering the number of monsters and monster packs at the start of the endgame by 30%.
But
As you go through the tiers, the number of monsters will increase, so that by tier 15, it's the same as it was before.
okay.
This will also increase the difference between map tiers. We're also making a change that PoE1 already had, where maps with very open layouts have slightly lowered pack density compared to the more closed indoor maps. This was done in order to prevent you getting swarmed too much in open maps, and so we're doing this for PoE2 as well. This should significantly reduce the time taken to clear maps and reduce the difficulty.
This should significantly decrease the enjoyment, fun, and loot that you're going to get in the open maps, is what he means to say. Just correcting Jonathan there.
That many players are experiencing as they enter the endgame. Now, there are still a lot of other new features and content that we want to add to the endgame, but we believe that
Nice,
these
Rick.
changes are a good step towards improving the base experience of mapping.
Alchemy Orbs. Right, let's have a little read about what else is coming. So, as you know, however, we realised it might be next week. We were planning... Oh, next week. So it's coming next week. That's big. The video covers the broad strokes of the changes coming to the endgame in 0.3.1, but there are other changes and details that will be important. Below, we are covering some of the additional changes included in this patch. Alchemy Orbs. With the introduction of tiered currency in 0.3.0, Alchemy Orbs became less valuable and had fewer uses. To give them more function and to smooth out the process of crafting your maps, Alchemy Orbs can now be used on magic items. This will upgrade the magic item into a rare with 4 new random modifiers. Cool. That's nice. Gives them a purpose. It's like slamming them with a double regal or something like that. Towers and tablets. As your tablets now directly applied to your maps, this means that you can apply the content you desire to every single map you run, assuming you have the tablet supply. However, the ceiling for the amount of content you can apply to a single map has been lowered. Overall, this results in more streamlined and consistent experience. Good sciencing. But in order to not have the ceiling come down too far, we've buffed the modifiers on tablets. Generally, the modifiers are approximately 2 to 3 times more powerful. Here's a few examples. Collectors now has a value of 10 to 30 from 7 to 10. Teaming now has 25 to 70 from 15 to 25. That's magic monsters. Of strong boxes now has a value of 50 to 100, previously 30 to 50. We've added a few new modifiers. Of the devoted, area contains a shrine. Of the antiquarian, area contains an additional strongbox. Crystallized, area contains an additional essence. Exiled, areas inhabited by 1 additional rogue exile. Asmiri's, area contains 1 additional Asmiri spirit. Summoners, area contains an additional summoning circle. Of the summoning, area has 25 to 50% increased chance to contain a summoning circle. Oh look, renamed scarabs. Indeed. And here's some other pieces of information to know about tablets. Unique tablets have their own individual number of uses. When using tablets in the reforging bench, the resultant item will have the sum of the input tablets as its remaining number of uses. However, the value cannot exceed the original maximum value. Fine, okay, yeah. When in an inventory like your personal one or a stash, the number of uses remaining on each tablet can be seen in the bottom right of its icon. That's going to be great in a quad tab. Existing tablets that have been applied to your atlas will remain, and you will not lose any value due to these changes. Some maps took considerably longer to navigate than others or complete, so we've reduced the size. Augury, Bastille, Bloomingfield, Channel, Epitaph, Fortress, Grimhaven, Hidden Grotto, Oasis, Penitentiary, Rupture, Savannah, Slick, Val City, and Wetlands. Atlas trees. As a result of changes as every map now containing a boss, we've had to make some modifications to the Atlas tree. For example, the Crystal Realm, notable on the boss tree, which previously added an additional essence to areas containing a map boss, now only applies to areas with powerful map bosses. Note this results in effectively no change. It is the same amount of essences before and after. In general, the map boss tree applies to all map bosses, with only a select few notables now specifically applying to maps with powerful map bosses. For example, the Fit for a King notable applies to all map bosses. Additionally, you'll notice a number of other nodes changing throughout the core Atlas tree to account for mechanical changes around towers. Yeah, that makes sense, right? We've tried to make sure these are kept approximately the same before and afterwards, so your Atlas trees will remain the same. Citadels have had their spawn rates increased by 66%. Other improvements, modifiers that cause the area to be covered in chilled, shocking, ignited ground now cause much less ignited ground to be covered. At least 66% of the ground effects currently covering the ground will be removed. The value is higher on lower tier waystones. Okay. Okay. They've hit 66% less. That's okay. We have fixed a few problems where map boss difficulty was not applying to many multi-form bosses, so a few of the maps with deadly map bosses will now be more difficult as a result. Yeah, I noticed that they had like 1 million health. It was always pretty odd that the second and third phases of some of these bosses had 10 times less life than the first phase. Yeah, no shit. This was an unintentional mistake. Alongside the changes mentioned above, the patch contains various improvements and fixes to a plethora of issues. All the details will be covered in the full patch notes, which we'll post as soon as we can. Stay tuned.